What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? So today's video is all about hacks and habits. These are going to be some hacks and habits that I've personally implemented into my own life, then implemented into my business. I attribute these habits and hacks to a lot of the success that I've been able to have. In today's video, I'm going to go through some of the personal things that I've done and implemented, and hopefully you get a couple of gold little nuggets out of it. Without further ado, roll the intro. Okay, so my name is Alan Howe, and if you're brand new to this channel, we talk all things bringing out the very best in you in life, in business. If these videos are things that you enjoy, like hearing about, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more golden goodies like this. Okay, so before I go into any of my hacks and habits, there's two things that lay the foundation to what I believe has allowed me to have the success that I have. So the two core foundations is understanding your values. Now, there's a link that I'm going to put in the description, and that is a link to Dr. Demartini's values exercise. Now, this is a great little exercise that I do every so often, and effectively there's 13 different questions. Now, after you answer these 13 different questions, what you will then be given the opportunity to do is link up your answers into different categories. Now, to go through this and basically just, you obviously click the link and have a look, but to skip to the final, what you actually finally get, or what I finally got, was I realized that I have three core values. Okay. My first one is creative expression, meaning that a lot of the things that I do on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, I get lots of fulfillment from expressing myself creatively through video, on video, through artwork, design, and a number of other different things. So if I understand that that's one of my core values and one of the things that I really love and enjoy, I can obviously make sure that I put more of that into my week, into my day. Then my second one is connection, meaning I love relating to people. I love talking to people, especially aspiring people, people in my situation and circumstance where I can potentially talk about what's going on in their world and you know, relate to them as much as possible, but also learn from them and also teach where possible as well. So knowing that those are my two top values, when I plan out my weeks and months and years and anything else that I plan out, I now know that creative expression has to have a major part in it. As much as I would like materialistic things and everything else, if I don't have my fulfillment in creative expression and connection, I know that I'm not really aligning to who I am and where it is that I want to go. By understanding your core values, or at least your top two or your top three anyway, it then gives you some direction for the next thing, which is writing out a 25-year plan. Now, to some, this may seem way too over the top, but hear me out. You are someone who's in your 30s or even older, in your 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever the case is. I personally look back to my 20s and I think, wow, like that just went in a flash, right? Obviously, when you're living it and everything else, seemed like a very long period of time, but obviously as you get older, you realize that time just flies. It's just a guide to understand where is it that you really want to go in the next 25 years. What could you do in the next 25 years if you gave yourself the time and expansion to create that? And then from there, you then create 3-year goals, annual goals, 3-month goals or 90-day goals, monthly goals, and so on and so forth. I'm going to be doing another video on this topic next week, but I will go through this process a little bit deeper. But once again, once you understand your core values, you have a really clear understanding of what your 3-year goals are off the back of understanding what your 25-year goals, this is where it's going to help the next part of what I'm about to talk about. This is where you then create a dream board. This is my dream board, and what you'll notice what you'll notice is that I've got a few different things. So I've tried to include as much family, some material things, but also different experiences and things that I want to do with my family and whatnot. Now, the more that you see and imagine what it is that you're working towards, the more likely that you are to actually experience it. Because if you can see it, feel it, and touch it in your own mind, slowly but surely this will become a reality. This is what manifestation is believing, seeing things that come into life before they're even here. So for me, I have my dream board up in 3 different places. I have one just above my computer, I have one on my door, my office door, and I also have one, a laminated version, sitting on the shower, so that even sitting in the shower, whilst I'm imagining, whilst whatever, I can think about the things that I want to manifest. The other hack that I want to talk about, and this is obviously a little bit different for women, but for men, I have purchased, I'd say 15 of these black shirts. Now, this one has my Triple Effect logo. In the past, for those who have followed me long enough, you might have seen a little fire symbol. The reason I do this is it's one less decision that I have to make. And after doing this for the first couple of years, like wearing these shirts for probably the last 3 years, I have now extended it to I only buy the exact same pair of shoes. I find a pair of pants and or shorts that I really like, and I buy multiples of them. And on a daily basis, I don't have to make as many decisions as other people. Now, I know this is quite a small thing, but if you can get yourself set up where you don't have to even think about what you're going to wear today, you can simply grab something out, one less decision that you have to make. Because if you're someone who runs your own business, who is making important decisions about your own future, about the future of your clients and all those other things, you want to have the mental capacity to make those with ease, grace, and flow. And it's one less decision, it's one less hassle, it's one less thing on your plate that you have to do on a daily basis. All right, so on to some weekly hacks that I implement to help myself with time, efficiency, and all those other things. And the biggest one for me is actually preparing my meals, all right? So I use My Muscle Chef, and I will buy 3 to 4 of these every week. Now, this one's butter chicken. I know exactly how many calories it is, and I'm actually working with a personal trainer. So first of all, this takes a minute, 90 seconds to heat up and get stuck into, and I can have it at my desk. I can have it wherever I'm going. And so one, I don't have to think about what I'm having for lunch. I just know it's there. I know it's available, and it's quick. It's easy. I know it's within my calories and all those other things. And again, it's one less decision that I have to make. What am I going to have for lunch? The next hack that I want to talk about is actually planning out your week on a Sunday night. Now, back to talking about, your core values and things like that. Again, I mentioned to you that one of my core values is creative expression. One of my second values is connection. Okay. So my calendar is currently open for people who are interested in working with us for videos and things like that. There's public links that people can literally click and book into my calendar. That is always open. But what I then do on a Sunday night is I start looking at closing off and blocking off time periods where I need to do creative things, whether that's creative editing for a client or creative things, creative processes and things that I need to do for our own business. And so that could look like a number of different things. But what I actually do to make sure I really enjoy my week, I feel fulfilled, is I will go through and block out and color code sections in my week where I am doing something creatively. Not only do I now look forward to those days because I'm doing something creative and I know it's one of my biggest values, I then also give myself time in the afternoons when I know, I need the most amount of concentration to be creative, but then I like to ease off on the afternoons and then talk to people, okay? And so in the afternoons, I'll then, write down and book in tasks on people I need to speak to, clients I need to follow up, or people that I would like to speak to about, certain things things. And so by this way, planning on a Sunday night, not only getting all the big important tasks into your calendar to make sure that not only you're meeting, your yearly, monthly, 90-day goals and all those other things, that you're including those pieces, but you're also doing things that make you fulfilled, that make you feel like you're actually doing something and achieving something. Understand that maybe my circumstance is a little bit different to other people's, where you may not have the ability to be able to block things out or block time out to do this or that or whatever the case is. But just make note of the time that you're spending to implement things that align with your core values, because the more that you can align with your core values, the more value that you can offer to yourself and others. And then you may even provide the opportunity to yourself to do this on a consistent basis. So the next one that I want to talk about is affirmations. So the reason this is important is because whether you realize it or not, we as humans can do some really powerful things, both for good and evil, using our words, okay? Using our words, we can lift and build someone up. And just as we can easily lift and build someone up, we can strike someone down with, terrible, mean, and cruel words, okay? And so for that reason, I want to be consistently speaking value, love, and a number of other different positive things into my world on a consistent basis. And so I have created my own affirmations, and these are powerful words that talk about a few different areas of my life, professionally and personally, to do with my family, to do with me socially, and a number of other things. Now, I have actually put a link down to the example that I have. It is quite a personal document, but something that I'm happy to share. And I think you'll find a lot of value in potentially having a read of mine, and then potentially creating your own version that fits and aligns with you. Go through, have a look, and maybe make some changes or edits or anything else that you see fit, and go from there. And last but not least, consistently meditating. Now, this for me helps to build what's called neutrality. Being neutral gives you the ability to cut out the noise, cut out the emotion, cut out everything that's going on, and just accept what's going on, and then move from that place and take action from there. Because if you're able to get to a place of neutrality where you feel good, you feel grateful, but you feel humble and you feel neutral, that then allows you to be able to then make some big steps in your business, in your week, for your clients, for your family, socially, whatever you have going on. By getting to that neutrality, by getting to that place, what it allows you to do is make effective decisions moving forward. You don't have the head noise. You don't have the emotions and energy of others. You've gotten yourself to this nice place where you're grateful, you're happy, you're neutral, and then you can take steps in the direction that you feel is important, rather than taking on everyone else's pressures, everyone else's incentives and emotions, and all those other things that you can easily take on. There are some of the hacks and tips and little gold nuggets that potentially you can implement, one or all of the things. I've again left some links, some different bits and pieces, so that you can have a look at what I have and what I use. Next week, I'm going to be talking about how to create a 25-year plan. I'm going to be going through it step by step. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm going to love you and leave you. Go get it.